Alright guys, welcome back to Urge. We're moving on to a new race in the Race Report series, which is part of the Character Catalyst. And what we're going to go on to is the Shifters, which I think is actually one of the coolest new races that have been added in the new Eberron book. Mm-hmm. So, with that, we're going to give a little bit of background about it, go through all of the abilities, and then we're going to go over some thoughts on the general class and options and things that could go along with the Shifter. So, basically, with the Shifters, they're sometimes called the Were-Touched, as many people believe they're descendants of humans and lycanthropes. But whatever their origins, Shifters have evolved into a unique race. It says that they are humanoid with a bestial aspect. While they can't fully change shape, they can temporarily enhance their animalistic features, a state they call shifting. So basically, early in childhood, they form a bond with a beast within, which is a totemic force that shapes their body and mind. And what they do is, there's 4 different kinds of shapes that they can relate with. The first being Beasthide, which signifies a bear or boar, which is a stoic, stubborn, and thick skin. Then there's also the Longtooth, which is a shifter typically having lupine traits and prefer to run with a pack.
Also known as a wolf.
Yeah. Then there's also the Swift Striders, which are predatory and feline. But a Swift Stride could also be cunning rat who darts through the shadows. So it says. And then also the last option is Wild Hunt, which are born from any creature that tracks its prey, as they are hunters.
So a lot more versatile than the last one. So with some of the lore built out of the way, some of the basic stats you come across, medium in size, 30 feet walking speed, you have dark vision, something we have learned is a very underappreciated skill in our group. Of course, you have your shifting ability, which it specifies it's a bonus action. You can assume your more bestial appearance. Transformation lasts 4 minutes until you die or until you revert to your normal appearance using a bonus action. You gain temporary hit points equal to your level plus your constitution modifier. You also get benefits that depend on your shifter subrace as chosen below. This is a once per short or long rest ability. The only base language you get is common. A lot of races get at least 1 or 2. You only get 1 here with common. Of course, then you pick your subrace of the 4 below.
Yes, of course. So again, these are all going to be related to the previously mentioned aspects to relate to. So the first one is the Beasthide. With this one, your ability score increases by 2 in the Constitution and 1 in Strength. You also have proficiency in the Athletic skill. And then when you shift, so each of these subraces is going to have a difference with their shifting feature. So when you shift, you gain 1d6 additional temporary hit points. While shifted, you have a +1 bonus to your armor class. So this is definitely more of a tankier kind of subrace to take, as you're going to get additional hit points and armor class while you're shifted.
Next one up is Longtooth. For your ability score increases, you get +2 to strength and +1 to dex. Fierce is you get proficiency in the intimidation skill, and then your shifting feature, you get elongated fangs. You make an unarmed strike as a bonus action. Mm-hmm. If you hit with your fangs, you can deal piercing damage equal to 1d6 plus your strength modifier instead of bludgeoning damage for the normal unarmed strike.
Yes, I think this one actually goes really well with Barbarian.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
You get the strength and the dex for unarmored defense, and you're also getting a proficiency with intimidation, which Barbarians.
And a bonus action for an extra attack.
Right.
Yes.
That's where it's big. You get 3 attacks a turn as a Barbarian. Yeah. Pretty cool. Then you also have Swift Stride is another option. Ability score increase, dex by 2, charisma by 1. You gain proficiency with the acrobatics skill. And your shifting feature is, while shifted, your walk speed increases by 10. You can also move up to 10 feet as a reaction when a creature ends its turn within 5 feet of you. And its reactive movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. So a little way to kind of stay alive a little bit better.
And finally, you have Wild Hunt, which increases your wisdom by 2 and your dex by 1, proficiency in survival, and your shifting ability. You advantage on wisdom checks when no creatures within 30 feet of you can make an attack roll with advantage against you unless you are incapacitated. So, no opponent rogue sneak attacks,
right.
No any of the other advantages. Even barbarians choose to use reckless attack. They couldn't get advantage against you. It specifically says they cannot gain advantage against you if no creature within 30 feet of you. So it's just even a range. So it's really really interesting. And I think this works well, of course, for the ability both for monks and even for rangers. So it helps you with some extra survivability. While you wouldn't have maybe not have as much armor as some of the other. Like a barbarian would have, maybe your fighter, things like that. Helps you out with survivability and do a little bit more damage on the side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even you can even see like maybe a druid as well, just because of the wisdom check advantage and things like that. The advantage, not being able to get advantage against you is pretty good for like everything.
It really works well for everything.
Like the stats work a little better with some classes than others.
Sure.
But the cool thing I think about this race, keep on saying subclass, not subclass, is that there's so many options, and every option has like strengths to it. And the thing too is every single one of them is going to get the bonus temporary hit points equal to your level and constitution modifier. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You're just going to gain a little bit more temporary HP whenever you shapeshift. And it's cool because depending on what kind of character you want to play something a little bit faster. You know, maybe you take the walking speed increase. Maybe you take a rogue or something, or you take a monk because they have the charisma dex thing going on here. Or maybe, who knows, you take, the Longtooth. You want to have the unarmed strikes, barbarian being 3 attacks while raging.
Some fighter would have 5 attacks.
Right, he's going crazy on here. So yeah, there's lots of cool options. I think the thing with this race that I think I like the most is that pretty much any class I think can pick this and feel good about it because you have so many options to choose from.
Sure. I mean, maybe not as direct for like full casters. Probably the least help. Wizards probably the only one that doesn't really help much. Because there's nothing buffs intelligence as far as stat goes, but some of them you can still use the abilities. You still get the additional temporary hit points, which Lord knows Wizards are begging for.
Yeah, you take the one where you don't fuck up 2 attacks, so then you get away and not have to get a few attacks. Someone comes up on you, get the extra HP, and you can get away.
I would like to run away, please. There's still some help all the way through, but overall, very interesting race. And I think that's when you go to add new content to a game like this. It's been around for a while. You got to make things that are either further improve, further diversify, or be interesting.
Right.
And I think this definitely falls under the interesting because not only do you have 1 or 2, but there's 4 different sub races to pick from, which still play on an interesting base race to give you a lot of good options.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite races, especially being the new ones. But I think, guys, it's gonna wrap it up for this one. So if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so when our new videos come out. Let us know in the comments down below if you have started playing as a shifter or if you play with one. Or if you have any stories from your campaigns, always love to hear those. Let us know down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.